Righto, mate. Let's start at the start. Alright, so you start with the board orientated, so a white square is on the right hand side. Now we'll go with the pieces, what they're called and how they move. So this is a pawn. The pawn, on its first move off of the rank that it starts on, it can move either one space or two spaces. Pawns, however, can only take on a diagonal. So moving forwards here is an illegal move. You cannot do it, but you can take this piece or you can take this piece. If these pieces were here, they are frozen. They cannot move. There is also one more pawn move that you may not know about, and it is called en passant. So if this pawn is sitting here and I move this pawn 2 pieces off the first rank there to try and dodge this guy, what happens is he has an option now to take me like this. That is called en passant. The next piece we're going to look at is the queen, the most powerful piece in the box. She can move as many spaces as she wants, either left to right, backwards and forwards, or on a diagonal. For this reason, she is worth 9 points. Though, if you run into a piece, you must take it, or you cannot jump over pieces with any of the pieces except for the knight, which is next. The next piece we're going to look at is called the knight. The knight is quite unique in its abilities, that it can jump over pieces. It also moves in a weird shape. It moves in an L shape, so it moves 2 spaces one way and then either forwards or backwards if the space is available. So if the knight is here, it has a few available squares that it can move to. It can move to here, 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 it can move and take this piece here, or it can move to here, or it can move to here. Otherwise, we'll put him back in his starting position, here. Moving along, we have a piece. This piece is the kitty fiddler. The bishop. The bishop, you have a light square bishop and you have a dark square bishop at the start of each game. The unique thing about the bishops is that a dark square bishop can only ever move on the dark squares in a diagonal, as many places as he would like. Vice versa, the light square bishop can only move on the light squares, as many spaces as he likes. He gets all the way up into these little kids' faces, doesn't he? The second to last piece we have is the rook. The rook is worth 5 points. The rook is just the next piece under the queen. Now, he moves left, right, backwards and forwards as many places as he likes. You gotta look after this guy, he's quite tough. Now the last piece we're going to look at before I show you the last special move that we have is the king. Now the king, he is the most important piece on the board. He's not worth anything because if you lose him, you lose the game. He can move in any direction whatsoever, but only one space. He becomes very valuable in an end game because you have to have him and because you'll trade off a lot of pieces throughout the tournament. So, after this guy, I will show you a move called castling. Okay, this next move is a little bit tricky, but once you get it, you get it. So, this move is called castling, and to be able to do it, you need to have a few criteria. So, these pieces need to have already been developed and out of their places. So, let's just say we'll do some legal moves to get us there. So, this pawn moves to free the bishop moves out, and this guy, the knight, he can move in an L shape, but he can jump over pieces so he can come straight out. Now what we have here is a rook that has not moved and a king that has not moved. If either of these pieces has moved at all, you cannot do this maneuver, but because these two are brand new and have not moved, you can now shuffle the king over 2 places, and this castle can jump over the top of the king, tucking the king behind these 3 pawns. He's protecting that one, and that one. And you can start looking at bringing this guy out, getting him onto the diagonal, looking at this king. Dang. And finally, we have castling on the long side, on the queen side. So once all your pieces are out of the way, these two haven't moved yet, shuffle the king over 2 places again, and then move the rook over to the other side. And there he is. There you go. That is the chess rules. Let's have a game. And you do the same on the black side. So the black queen has black shoes, she stands on a black square, and right next to her is her king, and then the bishops, and then the knights, and then the rooks on the very outer edge, and the pawns are on the rank in front of them. So these are called ranks, and they're numbered from the white side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and these are called files. Starting from the white side on the right is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.